Time now to take a look through the French newspapers, and for that I'm joined by press reviewer Elena Casas. Hello, Elena. What have you got to start off with?
Hello, Claire. Well, it's a really big week for Nicolas Sarkozy. He's got a big campaign meeting planned to be the biggest before the election coming up on Sunday in the French suburbs, and some big TV interviews planned between now and then. So he's campaigning, if you like, on all fronts. But yesterday he caused quite a controversy by saying that one of the main concerns of French voters in this campaign is halal butchers. Now, for Le Figaro, this is him returning to the classic campaign themes of 2007, which won him the election in the first place, trying to win back round those working class voters who care about themes like immigration. They've got Sarkozy places immigration in the heart of the campaign on their front page. And for them, that's a workable strategy. But for Le Monde, they say it quite differently. They've got Sarkozy plays his last card in becoming more radical on the right. They say that the socialist candidate François Hollande is setting the tone of the debate. He's deciding what the media cover. Nicolas Sarkozy just can't. He can't get back in control. He can't decide what the main campaign themes are that are being debated. And so he's turning more and more to his right because of a lack of space everywhere else, a lack of inspiration, a lack of ideas that can play more to a centre ground. So he's hoping that those very right-wing populist proposals will work with voters. So he's going for the most conservative ideas possible. Now, for Le Monde, this isn't just a desperate strategy, it's also dividing voters. It's upset members of both the Muslim and the Jewish communities after the president suggested yesterday that all meat should be labelled with the way in which it's slaughtered, so you don't, if you like, accidentally buy halal meat if you didn't intend to. Le Monde, incidentally, though, has an article looking at some halal butchers. They've been to interview some in their paper, and they talked to a sociologist about it who says that actually halal butchers are one of the best examples of immigrants integrating themselves into French communities, because a lot of them are North African immigrants, but they've become a vital part of their local communities, and they serve both Muslim and non-Muslim customers.
Now, you touched on this. The Jewish and Muslim communities then are worried about this strategy of sorts.
Yes, La Croix has got on as their front page questions around ritual slaughter. They're explaining to readers really what halal and kosher slaughter is and why it might become a political issue. They quote France's chief rabbi, who says he's very concerned by the idea of labelling meat according to its origin like this, because it might create a stigmatisation. And then if we're going to create a system where halal and kosher meat have to be taken out of the general supply chain so you can't buy it by accident, then it would become twice as expensive as well. They do say that, yes, you could be quite easily buying halal meat in a French butcher without realising it, because it is in the main supply chain with everything else, because slaughterhouses make economies of scale by slaughtering more halal meat than necessary and selling it into ordinary places. But why would the ordinary French consumer be concerned about this? Well, the main reason is that animals are killed without any painkillers, stunning. So, it is a crueler method in animal welfare terms. But Lacroix points out, and I think I agree, that it's a little bit hard to buy that the foie gras loving French are suddenly as concerned about animal welfare as all that. This isn't actually playing very well electorally either. Le Parisien points out on its front page, candidate Sarkozy still isn't taking off. And they've got a poll on the inside which has François Hollande on a whopping 59% in the second round against Sarkozy's 41%. So the president is falling and falling in the polls.
And you've got Libération taking a stab at why that is.
Yes, they've got the real numbers on Sarkozy and the rich, and this, if you like, they think is why voters still put off him, that he's still that reputation as the president of the rich. And they've actually done some number crunching, and they reckon that 84 billion euros has been redistributed by his tax policies in the last 5 years, but only 15% of it went to 90% of French households, with 60% going to businesses and another 22% to the richest 10% as a result of tax-cutting measures that they've been able to profit from. So it looks like the numbers prove it. It's not just an image. He really has been a better president for the rich, they say.
All right, thank you very much, Elena. Elena Casas running us through the French newspapers.